All right, all right, all right, all right. Friday night, baby. Yeah. Good evening to each and every one of you, and welcome to another rendition of Music Lovers LTD. Yours truly, the King of Oldies. I have the gang here with me, and we have the incomparable, one of my very, very good friends. Love her dearly, Miss Carla Thomas. I'm Miss Carla Benson. I'm sorry. Oh, I got carried away here. Carla Benson. She is the last living member of the group The Sweeties. The Sweeties, if you don't know, backed up everything pretty much that came out of Philadelphia International Records and more. She is a very talented young lady, and I'm not going to take the mic all the time. She's going to talk about it herself. But Carla, good evening to you, my love. How are you?
I'm peachy. How are you?
I like that. I like that peachy part. You're not even Georgia and you're peachy, huh? Carla and I have been talking, and a lot of you have been following us over the last couple of weeks and what have you. We've been talking about. Let me get the professor in here. Hey, professor, come on in. How
Hi,
you doing?
everybody.
Hey, Professor.
We've been talking about. I've been talking about Carla's book, her brand new book called "Journey into Love." I don't know if you guys can see. There it is, right there. Journey into Love. You know what? The only thing's missing out of this book is Carla's signature, and I got to get her in there to get it so she can sign my book.
No
But
problem.
I read the book, and I called her immediately and told her that I read it. The conversation that we had just before we came on the air went something like this. And the reason I brought it up because Smoke stopped by here earlier and he wanted to know about the book. I told him you go on, and Carla will give you this information before she leaves tonight. Get it from Amazon. But my question was simply this: if you are not in the business, and I'm talking about the show business, disc jockey, singer, musician, whatever the case is, and you read this book, what would your reaction be versus what the reaction of myself, because I'm in the business? I thought it was an outstanding book because I know the players, I know the game, if you will, and I know Carla. So I thought it was an outstanding book. But I wondered what the difference would be on the flip side, if you will. Well, I came to agree that I came to the
You asking
decision
me?
that it would
Oh, you
just be another
froze.
book. Just like, for example, Stephen King. I like him as a writer,
We
so I would just read his.
froze.
Everybody else agree with that? Does that make sense to everybody? Or you got something to say or what?
Clock is still moving.
What's that? What's wrong?
You froze for like 5 seconds.
Oh, okay. Well, we still rolling because I'm live. We're still rolling. So again, Carla, I explained that to you. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I I wrote. All I could do was tell my story, and the backdrop just happens to be the music industry, but it's a story of growing up. It's a story of love and commitment and forgiveness, and I told my truth. When I was wrong, I said so, and and I hope it's funny with the lesson. And what I want most people to get out of it when they get done is trust in the Lord with all your heart, with all your understanding, and lean not unto your own understanding. Just trust God. Just
Okay.
trust God and because that's the only way out.
Okay. Okay.
You go
Well,
after your dream, you're gonna pay for whatever you go for. You get what you
okay.
pay for. You get what you pay for. It has nothing to do with money. It has to do with your journey, and my journey. He trusted me to be in the dirty entertainment business, and I went through it. But I like to laugh, and I like to make people laugh. So I tried to make it. Well, everybody so far, I'm glad the people that have read it have said it was funny.
Okay.
They said it was
Okay.
kind of everything is funny. They laughed, they cried, they got something out of the lessons, and constantly I refer to Abba. I'm a Christian all
Yeah.
day. I might
Yeah.
act and look like a fool,
Yeah.
but
Okay. Okay.
But I'm God's child.
I'm saying yes because of the fact that reading the book, every other page there was something about giving praise, and I know that you're deeply rooted into the religion aspect. I definitely know that, and you alluded to that as being one of the major things that brought you through this turmoil and everything else.
Yeah, it was the thing, and actually, my relationship with Christ got stronger and deeper because of what I went through, because it was so crazy sometimes there was nowhere else to go but stretched
Okay.
out in my floor face down, talking about, Father, I stretch my stretch my hands to thee, and he pulled me through every time.
Okay. Okay.
And I
That's awesome.
cuss like a sailor. I tell everybody I got the Peter spirit.
I got you. I got you.
Then I find out who know their Bible, because if you know the Bible, then you know Peter was that one. He had that mouth. He
Right.
started a fight, start cutting people
Yeah,
off. So
with the
I,
knife. Yeah.
yes, I blame it on him. I'm like, I got the Peter spirit.
Well, Carla, I am so glad that we are going to have this time to spend. So I'm going to move over and let some of the rest of the gang come in. Restful, go ahead on, baby. Holla what you got a question or comment?
Yeah, that's okay because she did answer. She already answered one of my questions about what you hope your readers would get out of it. You already answered. But anyway, I wanted to know how did revisiting your career and life experiences, how did that impact you emotionally during the writing process of your book?
A lot of ways I relived. In order to write it, when you start writing, you're gonna find out, Ali, when you start writing, what initially comes out sometimes it's not what you mean. It's not what you really want somebody who doesn't know you to what you don't want. That's not it. So I was forced to like really relive um the moments and the incidents that I talked about, and it impacted me just like I was there. That one of the great blessings, though, that I discovered was that we were singing so much. We were so busy. I never really had time to stop and really listen to what we were doing, because as soon as we did one song, I had to get it out my head because I had another one to do. And so, going back, I'm now getting a greater appreciation for what we did, because now I can really listen and really hear. Back then, I was just doing, 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 doing.
Okay.
But now
Okay.
it's like I'm rediscovering the Sweeties all over again myself, and I love it.
Okay.
I loved
All
what
right.
I loved what we were doing while we were doing it, but again, I didn't appreciate it like I do now,
Got you. Got you. Because you were in the program.
because I was in it and we was moving
Right.
so fast. We had
Right.
14, 16-hour days, and I was tired, and I had to go home and be with my son, and I had to be there for him. So I never really stopped and savored, or just really listened and appreciated what we really did.
Okay.
And I love it all over again.
Okay. Good question, Russell. Good question. Good question. Drew, come on in, Drew.
Hey, Carl, I'm Drew. Nice meeting you. Thank you for joining us. Uh,
My
well,
pleasure to be here.
okay, but yeah, your career. I didn't realize you was with Philly International so long with them, and you guys have been all over. But even after your Philly International days, you were still able to go on tour with Patti LaBelle.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
that's
Can you
correct.
talk about that experience and how was that?
How was Miss Patty?
Yes, Patty, and her
Um,
shoes.
well, from a kid, when I was 10 years old, I was walking through my mother's living room, and all of a sudden I heard this voice, the woohoo, and I froze. I ran right to Broadway Eddie's and brought down the aisle.
I remember the spot.
Down the aisle, Broadway Eddie's. I lived 2 blocks from Broadway Eddie's, and a 45 was 49 cents.
Okay.
I gathered my little 49 cent at 10 years old and flew around that corner. Patti LaBelle has been my favorite singer since I was 10 years old.
Okay.
And so to get the opportunity to work with her again was only God. Only God would really know what that really meant to me, to be able to work so closely with her for 4 years. And she is amazing. What
Oh
you
yes. Oh, yes.
And she don't know how to be fake. What you see of Patty, that's really her.
Okay.
She is the most disarming and charming woman. She, you know, we're women, so we got that other side.
Yeah.
And
She's supposed to be going.
if you ask for it, you're going to get it. Say again.
She's supposed to be going on tour. Will you be joining her by any chance when she goes on tour again?
Oh no, I'm
No?
done with the road. The road is more than a notion. Yeah, I'm not interested in the road at all.
I hear you.
At
Been
all.
there, done that.
Good comments, Drew. Good comments. Let's move over to Jay. Jay, go ahead, my brother.
Carla, I'm Jay Francis.
Hey Jay,
Thanks for joining us tonight.
my pleasure.
To your book, I know you want us to read every chapter and
do.
every word, but what chapter in that book do you want us to pay most attention to?
It's all tied together.
Yeah.
It's all tied together. Every part of it is either in preparation for, or going through, or surviving, you know, making it through something. So it's all, there's no one chapter that I favor more than the others.
Was any chapter you found difficult to write? You want to hold back from?
Absolutely. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. I want you to read it.
Figure it out.
I'll tell you which chapter. I'll tell you which one it is. I got my book, but I'm not going to tell you why. But it's chapter 11.
Okay.
Chapter 11.
Got it.
Tore me a new one.
Okay.
Jay, I'll share with you my favorite. It's lesson.
I already know what you're gonna say.
Lesson 14. Refer to lesson 12, page 168. It's what we talk about all the time. Every time I talk about Carl, it's the same thing. Page 168.
Is that the hardback or the paperback?
That's the paperback.
168. You know I got it right here, right?
Yeah, I know you do, babe. I know you do.
168.
Yeah, that's the beginning. That's the beginning of it. Yes, sirree. That's the one we talk about all the time. That's
Okay.
with Love Won't Let Me Wait, Major Harris, and the girls in the, well, not the girls, but Yvette was in the background making that noise. You know what I mean?
That was Barbara.
Barbara, I'm sorry. Barbara was in the background making that noise.
Should I read it? You want me to just tell you or read it?
Well, we've talked about it, but if you want to read a bit of it, go ahead, baby.
Let me see. Philadelphia International Records and Tom Bell were dropping hits like rain. Mm-hmm. Bobby Eli was a soulful Jewish boy with a head full of thick, tight, curly black hair. He lamented his whiteness, often saying he was really a black man trapped in a white man's body. Next paragraph. He did. He was friends with this guy who was once a member of the fabulous and successful La La Means I Love You Delphonics, Major Harris, who wanted to be his own star. And he had the voice and the swag to do it.
Did. Yes, he did.
So we did the double. Next paragraph. Before we did the double, which is when you sing background, you have to sing what you sang twice, exactly the same way. It makes it, that's just how it is. Bobby asked us to do some sexy noises here and there to spice it up a little. We all balked at that. Okay, I'm getting ready to cuss. Anybody sensitive to cussing? Because here come Peter.
Come on, babe. Come on.
We all balked at that, but then them bitches volunteered. Carla will do it. Oh, hell no, she won't. I immediately shot back, but they kept egging me on. Next verse. After we done the double, next verse. See, next paragraph. After we done the double and we're back in the control room listening for anything we might want to add or repair, Bobby said he wanted to add some real sex sounds to the track. He said he needed it, and he took about half an hour trying to convince one of us to do it. We were all adamant in our politely unified refusal. Then he said the magic words, "I'll pay you extra." Barbara jumped at the bait. How much? 300. She was in. Then she said I had to direct. What? We went into a huddle. Yvette and I cussed her out. I started with, bitch, what the hell you tell him you going to do that shit for? And why you putting me in it? Yvette chimed in with, your dad is a deacon in the church. How you going to explain this shit to him? You going to embarrass your whole family. Her response to everything was $300. I pitched a quiet fit, but she had the most devilish look on her face. She was loving this. She told Bobby her conditions. I'm skipping around. I'm not reading straight through. She told Bobby her conditions. The studio had to be completely dark. I had to direct from a chair in front of the control board with one pin light on me so she could only see me. Yvette had to watch both of us so we didn't go too far. Bobby readily agreed. When it was mercifully over, Bobby wanted another track. Dumbass agreed. Oh, hell, we gotta go through this shit again. Then he wanted yet another track. Deep breath. Halfway through the third time, Yvette made her way to where I was sitting. There were several other chairs there. She sat down and whispered to me, we got to get the hell out of here. Her voice had that urgency a friend recognizes, and I looked at her. She whispered, look. She nodded her head in the direction of the back of the studio. There, standing behind the control board, were 4 or 5 men. The only lights in the control room were at the engineer's board, which lit the men standing there from the waist down only. I couldn't see their faces, but I could see they all had hard-ons. Oh, my God. Were they expecting an orgy? I could have kicked Barbara's ass. I held my hand up and told her to stop. We stood, and I could clearly see their full erections in their pants with their nasty hands rubbing themselves. I was so pissed. I wondered if we were going to have to fight our way out of there. I wanted to kick Barbara's ass. I told her not to do this shit. Now look at this bullshit. We got to finesse our way out of here. Yvette grabbed our stuff and said she was making room for everybody. Down front. The guys, a collective, yeah, came from the men. I was right behind her. I told Bobby I needed to tell Babs something before we started again. I let the door to the control room close and opened the door to the studio. Yvette went straight out to the lobby to get our stuff sorted and ready for us to slip into. I called Barbara from behind the mic over to where I was at the door. When she got there, I whispered exactly the same words Yvette had said to me. We got to get the hell out of here. She looked puzzled. I added a stern, don't ask me no questions look, and began pulling her out. Now, she looked in my eyes, saw the seriousness, heard the intensity, and never said another word. We snuck quietly out to the lobby where Yvette had our coats ready and our pocketbooks on her arm. We never moved so fast before in our lives. In a silent, furious rush, we slipped into our coats and flew down those steps. We didn't stop to talk or ask any questions until we were all safely in our cars and pulling away. We never looked back and laughed all the way across the bridge.
Now, Carla, I want to say something here, and my team here, Professor, we coming to you. My team here will agree, but I say this almost every week, depending on who the artist is. That what you just read is in your book, so anybody that buys the book will be able to read it. But talking about this doing this show is stuff that you're, one, not going to see on the back of an album, two, right, not going to read on the insert of a CD. You will not know this unless somebody comes on our show like this and talks about it. It's not harmful material. It's funny material, because now everybody out there in the world who's listening is going to go play the record, Major Harris, Love Won't Let Me Wait, and they're going to relive what you just said with the noise in the background.
Oh, God.
You guys, Carla told me when she first put the book together, she said, Ollie, I put that particular section in the book because when I told you about it, you laughed so hard about this that I thought it was funny. So she put that part in the book. She put that in the book for me. I'm telling you, that was awesome.
You laughed so hard. That was the first time I really thought maybe I have a story to tell.
It was hilarious because I could visualize the guys in there, because I know what the control room looks like. It's
right.
dark, and
right.
y'all in there moaning and on. I can imagine what it was like.
We had, and I to this day, I don't know where those men came from. When Barbara started that, there was nobody in the studio but Bobby Eli, the engineer, me and Yvette.
Okay.
Barbara, we were in the control room. Barbara was out in the studio. To this day, I do not know where those men came from, how they got in the studio, and I never heard them or never saw them.
Okay, but what you don't realize is us guys, we have a sixth sense, babe. When it comes to sex, and that we get the
Find a
move.
way.
Professor, come on in, babe. Come on in, Professor.
Too funny. Too funny. I'm ordering my book tonight.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Carla.
My
the
pleasure.
last time you were with us was August the 6th, 2021.
Wow, I
Wow.
didn't know it was that long.
Wow. Time is
Yeah.
flying. The older we get, the faster time goes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So I remember from back then, we had asked about your favorite artist to work with, and you did say it was Patty.
Mhm.
But were you featured in 20 Feet from Stardom? In
No.
that documentary?
We never wanted to be, well, Rudy Calvo, who was Patty's makeup guy, had something to do with the production of 20 Feet from Stardom. And he actually called me and told me about it and asked if we would be interested. It was only me and Yvette that time because Barbara passed in 94. Yvette said, hell no. And I said, yeah, but it didn't work out because they shot on the West Coast and because of their budget. We are on the East Coast. But when I saw it, we would not have fit the premise of the movie anyway. 20 Feet from Stardom, all of those background singers wanted to work the front line. They wanted to be the act. We never did.
Okay.
We never wanted to work that front line to be stars. We were very content with our anonymity and our money singing background. I never.
Okay. Good question. Professor.
Yeah, we wouldn't have fit that. We'd have blew the whole. They would have left us out anyway.
How much?
Why do you think?
Go ahead, Professor.
Why you think they'd have left you out?
Because we didn't fit the premise. They wanted background singers who were like anxious to trade places with whoever the actor was they were working for. You know, they wanted to talk to background singers who wanted to be the star.
Okay.
We didn't want to be the star.
Right.
We liked singing background.
Yeah,
Cool.
the only person that I think she was in it, because it's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Lisa Fisher. She really Lisa Fisher didn't really want it background.
Lisa Fisher didn't want it either because she tried it. She had that song. She won, her and Patty won a Grammy, and same thing. It's like we, from our position as background singers, we see what the stars really have to go through. Y'all will never know, and it's like I can't even tell it to you so that it would make sense. You kind of have to like be there. But the stuff that you have to go through, you got 15 people telling you what to do, what to say, where to go, how to dress, how to feel. Don't matter if you're sick or tired or your mother's sick or your child is in the play. Get out there and sing. You know, you're not a person. You're a product. Right. And what you want to sing, if the record company doesn't want you to sing that and want you to sing something else, no, you have to do what they say because they have the money. Who controls the money controls you.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not for sale.
Good question, Professor.
Right.
That was my next question to you, Carla. Is give us a little bit inside, because let me start off by it, because I said this before we came on the air, and I say it all the time. Most people go to the Dell, the Schubert, wherever they're going to buy their ticket, and they go sit in the back and they watch the show. Then they go home. They have no idea that there's two shows, one behind the stage and one that they actually sing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Give us a little bit of the not so cool stuff that goes on behind the stage. Now we're not trying to pollute the business because it's already polluted. I know they've heard me say it many times, and I'm not where you were, but I'm sort of still in the business, so I've seen some of the dirt and nasty stuff and evilness that goes on in the business. Tell us a little bit about that, Carl, if you would.
Well, say for like example, when you play the Dell and Man and music and things like that, you're probably on during a summer tour.
Yeah.
Which means there were times when we had tour buses, luxury. They're called luxury tour buses, but you sleep on the bus. So there were times when we did not have. So we're constantly in motion. You don't sleep on a bus like you do in a bed.
Right.
So there were times when we hadn't had a room for 2 or 3 days. We arrive at this festival. Tired. Bone tired, because we just did a show in Florida. We were on the bus all night getting to Pennsylvania. We do a show in Pennsylvania. We get back on the bus and are on the bus all night going to Wisconsin. And still, we've had maybe 3 hours of sleep in like 48 hours. We get to the venue. We have to do a sound check, and the engineers are not where they're supposed to be. So we have to stand there and wait for somebody to fight with somebody else about getting the sound right, because if the sound is not right, the general public is not going to say the sound man is messed up. They're going to say she sound a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
The sound people are so crucial. And so that's a crucial point. Then we get there and somebody will come and say, we didn't sell the tickets we were supposed to sell, so y'all might not be getting paid, which is always a lie. It's always a lie. But then you got to have somebody to fight that battle. Then your stage clothes, they do now, but we didn't get on stage in our regular clothes.
Okay.
So now how about the clothes don't show up?
Okay.
So now there's no dressing rooms. It's hell hot heat, and we have to put on stage makeup, and there's no dressing room. So it's just battle after battle after battle, and we are singers. Whatever's going on with us affects our throat. So if we get pissed, if we start fussing and cussing somebody out, that's going to affect me when I get on stage. So we have to face all of that stuff and still try to stay cool, because y'all don't care about none of that.
Right.
Y'all paid your money to see a show, and you deserve a good show, and we have to deliver that. Don't care what happened. Don't care about all of that.
Okay. All right. Good synopsis. I appreciate that. Good synopsis. Restful, I'm coming back to you, babe. Come on in.
Okay. Yes, Miss Carla. My question is, if you could sing one song that encapsulates your journey, what would it be and why?
Hold on one second, Carla, before you answer that. Restful, we don't use big words on this show on Friday nights.
Oh,
babe.
sorry. Okay. To encapsulate, to put in one small.
Yeah, this is a family. This is a family-oriented show, babe. We don't use big words like that.
Okay. Well, it could be a learning experience too, because I had to look up the dictionary too a little bit, trying to put it in one little small piece there.
This is a family-oriented show, babe. Keep it light.
I'm with you.
But you understand me, right, Miss Carla?
Please don't call me Miss Carla.
Okay. All right. But you got me, right?
Yeah, I got you. When you said it, Ali just rude.
Okay.
He's just rude as hell. He ain't changed. That's a good question. And I'm gonna think about that, because maybe there is one song, but right off the top of my head, there is no one song. There is no one song.
Okay.
There's no one song, and I suspect the song that I'm going to come up with is going to be a contemporary gospel song.
I was just going to go there.
I suspect that's what it's going to be. But right now, because I'm hearing there's a song that a lot of people don't know, it's All I Want Is You. That's a gospel song. There's so many others. I'm gonna think about that. And I'm gonna tell Ali to call you when I get the answer.
Okay.
You sound intelligent because right now I'm drawing a blank because there's so many songs in my head.
Yeah.
It's so many.
Good question, Russell. Good question.
Yeah,
Drew, come on in, Drew. Drew, come on in.
Okay, Carla. I see here that in addition to your background singing, you also was able to find some work in Broadway, particularly Ain't Misbehaving and Green Girls. Could you talk a little bit about that aspect?
It was off
of your
Broadway,
career?
and
Off
actually,
Broadway. Okay.
I actually love singing, acting, and dancing on stage better than the rest of it. If I could, I don't have the drive to go through what you got to go through. The opportunities just came to me, and I played Effie in Dreamgirls, and that was easy for me because I kind of lived that with the girls, loosely. Plus the fact that I know the Diana Ross story, so Effie, she was something to play. But yeah, anytime I'm an actor and a singer too, so live theater, I freaking love live theater. Ain't Misbehaving. Are y'all familiar with Ain't Misbehaving?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was part of my question. So were you able to make a living doing the Broadway shows and stuff? Were you able to sustain yourself that way? Okay.
Yes. Not near doing the theater stuff. I made maybe 1/3 of what I made singing.
Okay.
But the soul was satisfied. You
Right.
know, the soul was the business will make you get real clear about what you need. You know,
Yeah.
I want a lot of money, but if I'm performing, I'm good with a little bit.
Okay.
You also, I see you also did some TV jingles, numerous TV jingles.
Yeah, we did Pepsi and Polaroid had a camera called the Zip for about 2 minutes.
Okay.
When the instant cameras came out. Yeah, we did Sesame Street. That was fun.
Yeah.
We did Live Aid. That was crazy.
Oh, really?
Oh my God.
Live Aid. Okay.
That was nuts. Okay, I'll tell you a story about that. So as we came off the stage, okay, so the backstage was I admire the producers of Live Aid because it was crazy backstage. Everybody was back there. Mick Jagger, I can't think of his name. Bahamian, Dick Gregory. Everybody was backstage. So as we came off, Patty, we had just gone out and done our thing, and as we came off, Tina Turner and Mick Jagger were going on, and so Patty and Tina know each other. And so when we're coming out off in a group and they're going on, and when Patty saw Tina, of course she said Tina and reached to hug her. And Miss Tina said, "Oh no, darling, you're moist."
Ooh. Okay.
He was like, "Oh no, you didn't." So I like gave her the finger like on the sly, and we all walked by her and gritting on her, and so 5 minutes later we understood because Patty was sweaty. And Tina had just had her face beat. Live Aid was going to be shown all over the world. So she couldn't go out there with half her face sweaty because Patty wanted to give her a hug, sweaty and the makeup smeared and all that. We understood that later. Also, when they got on stage, like a couple of minutes into their show, Mick Jagger snatched Tina Turner's skirt off.
What?
You didn't see in Live Aid?
I don't remember seeing that. I don't remember seeing that part.
Okay, look it up on YouTube. Mick Jagger, Tina Turner on Live Aid. He snatched her skirt off, and so we all cheered because we may pretend he did it because he saw her being so slimy to Miss Patty. We was like, "That's what you get," like kids, kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's on YouTube. If you look up Tina Turner, Mick Jagger, Live Aid, and watch him snatch her skirt off. But Miss Tina's legs was to die for, so that didn't hurt her at all.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
that
hey.
That didn't hurt her. Okay.
That didn't
hurt her. Good question,
Thank you so much.
Good question. Jay, we're gonna pop. Where's Jay at? Let me get him. There he is. Jay, go ahead, bro.
Jay on mute. You on mute.
Carla.
There he is. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. During your backup career, did you ever perform with somebody that went off track from what you rehearsed, and how did you handle that?
We mostly recorded, so there was that thing only can happen when you're live. Now with Patty sing what she want to sing, and we have to stay the course no matter what the act does. We stay the course. We like hold her down. Us and the band, we stay steady doing what we do. That way she can take off. That's what we're there for.
Mm-hmm.
We're there so they can take off and do whatever they want to do, and we still right there on point, holding her down. So that was not a problem.
Okay. Good question, Jay. Come on in, Professor.
Well, I just ordered my book.
Yay! Yay! Thank you.
It'll be here between Sunday and Monday.
Okay, and I want to know what you think about it.
I sure will let you know.
Please.
But and you say you got the Peter spirit. I'm right there with you.
Okay. I'm glad you understand.
I would have had that same reaction.
We were that was like but
Mm-hmm.
you have to maintain,
remain professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to maintain, but we cussed her out real good when she couldn't hear us.
Too funny. I can't wait to get this book.
It's good reading. I can tell you that. Well, I've already told you, Professor. It really is good reading. It's good reading. Good reading.
So when you guys however you were selected to sing background for Patty, did you guys replace Direct Current, or because I know they did some singing background with her too?
We came when Patty, they actually called us.
Mm-hmm.
Patty she was in New York. She had done a Play Your Arms Too Short to Box with God.
Mm-hmm.
She had done that for like 2 years, and that was over. She was going to go back out on the road again, but she couldn't take the band, which were actually my cousins, the Ingram family. They also had an album out, and were offered a big European tour. And so she needed her and her musical director, Bud Ellison, they wanted a whole new band and a whole different group of background singers. And after we were hired, we found out that they had been wanting to work with us for years, but we always refused to go out on the road with anybody. We did a couple shows with the Spinners here and there, and we did a couple live shows with Lou Rawls, but we wouldn't go on the road. We would not give up the studio. Or we did a couple shows with Teddy, but we wouldn't give up the studio full time to go on the road with anybody. We could sing more different kind of music in the studio.
Yeah.
When you go on the road, you can only sing, that artist stuff. When in the studio, anything might come.
Yeah.
Cool. That only made your exposure a lot more than what it was.
We got to sing. We got to do so much more because there was a time when people were flying in from all over the world to get that Philly sound.
Okay.
Because there was a time when Gamble and Huff and Sigma Sound was like dropping hits like rain. They was dropping hits, and the business always follows the money. A hit equals money.
Right.
And so people were literally flying in from all over the world to get some of that. They called it that Philly magic.
Okay.
So we were part of that.
Okay.
We're the mothers and the sisters in MFSB. They tell y'all that it's mother, father, sister, brother.
Right.
Come on, Peter Spirit. You know what that really is.
I sure do.
Okay. You talking about mother, father, sister, brother. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good question, Professor. Good question. Good comment. Carla, let's talk just for a moment. If you and the professor will like this too, because this is one of her favorite people as well. Sylvester. He came to see you in sort of the last chapter of his life, if you will.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a moment, because he's one of my favorites. When I play You're My Friend, the live version.
Oh yeah,
I get chills every time. And the
yeah,
professor, she's told it to me, I get
yeah,
chills every time I hear it. Every
yeah.
time. Tell us a little bit about that.
We were doing one of those festival gigs. There's an amusement park in South Carolina, like Great Adventure.
Yeah.
You know that we played that every year. The first year we played there, Whoopi Goldberg came because she was close by because that's where they filmed The Color Purple.
Mm-hmm.
So she came to see us, and the next year we were there. You know, the road manager knocked on our. We had trailers for dressing rooms when we did the parks, amusement parks, and the road manager knocked on the door and said somebody out here wants to see you. We was between shows. We had done one show and we had 2 hours before the next show, so we were
Okay.
just chilling. And he said somebody wants to see you. Okay. So this guy came in and he was so plain looking. He was plain looking and he was humble. He stepped up into the trailer and he stood by the door like this, like kind of like rubbing his hands. And he said, I came to see Miss Patty, but I just wanted you guys to know that I just had to see you first because you all are fabulous. You just so wonderful. And we looked up, we said, thank you. That he kept talking and I looked at him. I said, Sylvester. He said, yeah. And he dropped his head.
Wow.
He said, yeah.
Wow.
And he dropped his head. Well, the three of us, I promise you, had the same unction at the same time.
Okay.
AIDS was the hell disease then. But
Right.
by then we knew it was only transmitted through bodily fluids. But
Right.
Sylvester was so afraid he didn't know how we were going to take him, knowing that
Okay.
because the world knew he had AIDS by then. And
Right.
when I said Sylvester, he said, yeah, almost like he was afraid. The three of us said, boy, if you don't get in here, and we went to him and hugged on him. And when we pulled him from the door into the trailer, letting him know without saying it, we don't care about that. We love you.
Okay.
Don't worry about that. And we sat and talked. His energy, it was almost tangible. His
Okay.
energy went from oh my God to oh my God.
Okay.
He was so, and we just loved on him and sat there and talked to him. And we made sure we kept touching him and we kept hugging him. And there's a picture with the three of us around him, like just in your face. No, we ain't
Yeah.
paying that no mind. And I'm
Right.
saying, like, wait a minute, you work with the Weather Girls. There's some singing sisters.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
talking about we fabulous? You better shut up. And so we cut up, we carried on to the point for almost an hour.
Okay.
And finally he said, I love y'all, but I better go see Miss Patty before my energy is just all gone. He said, I
Gotcha.
didn't mean to stay here this long, but he was so relieved that we received him like that, and he was his spirit was so lovable.
Okay.
He was
Okay.
just a sweet, humble spirit, and having him leave was watching him leave and having to say goodbye to him when
Yeah. Maybe
that
the last
goodbye
time.
that
Yeah.
goodbye is goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was like we were almost like all in tears
Right.
because that was a heavy moment. And I thank God we could share that with him, and he was gone not too long after that.
Right.
So
Right.
we knew that when we let him out that trailer door, we knew that he was going to go soon, and that goodbye wasn't see you later. That was
Right. Right.
goodbye.
Right.
Yeah, that
Carla,
was
you've been doing this so long, and I don't want to put you on the spot by asking you a number because that's probably we'd probably be here till next Thursday. But there's been so many people that you've had the opportunity to sing with, to be with on stage. There are so many of them that are gone now. What are your thoughts if you had to make a majority statement? What are your thoughts on those that you've seen, such as geez, I just forgot his name that quickly. The guy that was like your guardian angel.
Tommy
Tommy,
Bell.
yeah. Yeah. What would your statement be on all of those people? Linda Creed, Tommy Bell, all of those people, Sylvester, who have gone on that you've had the opportunity to rub elbows with and or learn something from this business.
All of it was a blessing. 100%. All of it was God's grace and favor. all of it, all of it, to be able to even the stank parts, because um, as a child of God, I refuse to be beat up and just be beat up. If I get beat up, then I feel like there's a lesson for me in that beat up, and I will wrestle with whatever it is until I learn the lesson. And then once I learn the lesson, beat up doesn't win. But I had to come through a whole lot to get to that point. But I'm I recognize doing this book made me, I never thought about what we did. I just did it. I just did it. It was just like, just happy, just silly.
Right.
You know, I just did it. But so many people, you started it with laughing at that story. And then so many people said, you got a story, you should tell your story. And I'm like, what story? I just did what I just did what, you know, Abba, I call God Abba, because that means daddy. Abba opened the door and I walked through. But
Right.
doing that book made me say, I lived a blessed and favored life.
Yes,
I
you
paid
did.
for it.
Yes,
You
you
got to
did.
pay your dues.
Yeah.
I paid for it. I had my behind kicked,
Right.
but I'm
Right.
still standing.
Right. And that's the glory. That's the glorious part about it. That's the
Well,
glorious part.
if you it's and I'm also a music teacher. I have my
Right.
degree. So
Right.
I teach high school. I retired from that, but I taught high school music in inner city in Camden, and I
Mm-hmm.
loved it. I freaking loved it.
Okay.
Even that was a blessing. And so when you is what was most important when I was in front of my kids, it was to try to get them to find their passion. If you are fortunate enough to live your passion and to walk in your passion, you'll never need a vacation.
Exactly.
You never
Exactly.
need a vacation. I never needed a vacation in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
My life was my vacation.
Exactly.
I was living what I wanted to do. What the way my life worked out was better than what I had imagined. And
Right.
only God could have done that.
Gotcha.
I would have been
Gotcha.
most miserable if I had worked that front line. I'd have
Yeah.
been probably evil.
Right. I say I say many times on my radio shows and my TV shows, what I don't know what I would be doing. I truly don't know what I would be doing if I didn't have my music. I don't know what I would be doing.
I
I mean,
know, yeah.
I I would probably do a 9 to 5 somewhere. You know what I'm
And be
saying?
miserable
Exactly.
because that
Exactly.
music is screaming. But
Exactly.
even when I was teaching, I was a music teacher.
Right.
So I've
Right.
never been. I can't. There's nothing I could do separate from music because everything is going to come back to music. I use my music to teach life skills
Right.
to our
Right.
kids because they don't know how to. They don't know how to sign their names.
That's true.
They don't have a
Very true.
signature. They don't know
Very
what a
true.
check. They don't know how to write out a check.
Right.
They don't know how to
Right.
balance a book. They don't need no do re mi.
Right.
They need
Right.
to sit your behind down and figure out a budget for how you cost money to live.
Right.
What you gonna
Right.
do? You know,
Right.
what's your find your passion. That's my passion now is these young people.
Right. Right.
But I
Okay.
can use music to get to them, and that's what I do.
And it's a good Jocko tried to do that with his rap back in the day. You remember that? When he came
Jocko
out with
was
his
a
rap,
distant
trying Jocko, yeah. He
Jocko
tried that.
Henderson. Jocko
Yes.
Henderson is actually a distant relative of mine.
Okay. Okay.
My mother and all of them are Hendersons.
Okay.
And
All right.
somehow we're related. I never got what the relatedness was because it was too complicated. Second
Gotcha.
cousin, or
Gotcha.
just that
Gotcha.
we were disrelated. That's all.
Okay. Okay. Professor, I'm coming back at you, and then we're gonna make our rounds here as we say good night, if you will. Come on, Professor.
Okay, well, this is been such a wonderful time again. We always have a good time with
Yes,
you,
we do.
and now I have
With y'all.
a name to put to my personality.
Yeah, beat it.
I had another name, which I will not,
Okay, all right.
but I like that.
I heard it. I heard you.
But you know, it's always a pleasure.
Thank
It's
you.
always a
It is for
pleasure.
me.
And we're on. Thank you for the birthday shout out too. You gave it to me on
Okay.
Facebook.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But are you going to be? I don't know if you're still over in Jersey
I am.
or you are. Oh, so you're in the area.
I
So
am.
we may possibly get to see you
I'm
sometime soon
planning.
because I want my book signed too.
I'm planning on a a book signing, reading kind of singing kind of event over here in June.
Okay.
So we're trying to, because I have to, again, I self-publish, so I have to get like physical books in hand, but I have to pay for them. So I'm waiting on Jesus to send me the coins.
Okay.
So,
I feel you.
yeah.
I'm gonna step in here a minute.
Now, so I'll probably be able to make that.
Okay.
I'm gonna step in here. I'm gonna step in here a minute, even though she hasn't put it together yet, and tell you who the host of that book reading is going to be. You know what I mean?
None other than.
I'm trying to tell you now, baby.
None other than. Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Way to go, Professor Drew. I'm
Thanks
coming
for
at you. Hold on
joining
one
us.
second. Let me get over here to Drew. Go ahead, Drew.
Carla, what's the name of your book again? I'm ordering now. I'm getting Connie on it right now as soon as we get off. What's the name of the book again?
Journey into Love.
Journey into Love. Okay. You partially asked a question. I was wondering if you were still teaching. So I guess I can ask, and you asked, I guess you answered it, but I'm going to ask anyway. What advice would you give to up and coming young artists trying to get into the business today? What's the first thing they should know?
Pray. I'm laughing, but I ain't playing.
Great answer. That's a great answer.
Okay.
Great answer.
I'm laughing, but I ain't playing, because this business will make you betray yourself.
Yeah.
The love of music and the promises that somebody dangles in front of you, the love of you, that artist in you, and what somebody dangles in you, making you feel like it's possible, will make you do things and sign things that you ain't got no business doing and signing, just because you're so passionate about the music.
That's a very good point, Carla.
You have to be clear about who you are and what you're willing to do to work that front line.
That's a very good answer. Good question, Drew. Very good question, Drew. Very good question. Let me jump over here to Jay. Where is he?
He gone.
No, he's here.
Oh.
There he is.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I'm having some technical difficulties, but I'm here. Thanks for sharing.
My feelings was hurt. I thought you left.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They didn't name y'all the Sweeties for no good reason, right? The Sweeties. The Sweeties.
Patty named us the Sweeties. The original name was the Sweethearts of Sigma.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And she shortened it to the Sweeties when we went to work for her.
Okay. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Oh,
Look forward to meeting.
Anytime Mr. Hackett calls, I have to say yes. I don't know what that's about.
I like it. Restful, come on and take us on home, babe. Hold on, let me get your mic on. There you go. Go ahead.
Yes, I just want to say thank you again. It was a pleasure. And I am definitely going to buy your book when I get off of this podcast tonight.
Yay, thank you.
Yes.
And I want to know what you think. You too, Drew. I want to know. I really want it. It's important to me. It's important. Even if you don't like it, I can take it. But I need to know why.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I'm straight no chaser. You know what I'm saying? I can take
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely. Yes. And encourage our host as well. It's time for him to write that book as well. I keep telling him.
Okay, you want to tell it, Ali? Come on now.
Well,
I fuss at him every time I talk to him about that.
Carla called me and told me about the book, and I won't tell you what emphatic words that she used, but I've started writing. I can
imagine, Peter. I can imagine.
Okay.
And I call her for direction because this is a whole new field for me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And what some of the things that she has already shared with me about writing is you'll start out going in this direction, but you'll quickly turn right. Then you'll quickly turn left. Then her advice to me was just put it down, because you're going to go through it 3 or 4 more times, 5 more times. Just put it all down. And that's what I've been doing. I've been putting down, very happy, and I'm excited about it. It gives me something to, when I'm at work all night long, I take my laptop and I'm just typing away.
Because don't we know he has a story?
Yes, absolutely.
He has a story, and that story needs to be told, because there are lessons there and there's wisdom there. You don't get this far without wisdom and understanding.
Absolutely.
That's true. That's very much true.
So
Very much so.
and the first thing is to just get it all out.
Right.
You're gonna edit yourself 900 times because you don't want to hurt nobody.
Right.
You're gonna
Right.
change the names to protect the guilty.
And that's funny. That's funny. Carla, before we go, tell everybody where they can get your book. Ordering it, whatever. Tell them the name of the book and where they can get it. I want the audience to know that.
The name of the book is Journey into Love, and right now it's only available on Amazon. However, next week you should be able to just Google it, and it should come up on all kind of platforms. But right now it's only on Amazon. One of the things I have been doing is working to get it on other platforms. So that should be happening early next week. Barnes and Nobles and couple of other it should be in some independent bookstores. But the title is Journey into Love, Carla Benson, and I would appreciate it. I want to hear what everybody thinks, especially people that are not necessarily in the business and that don't know me. I need to know how it impacted you, and if it did what I intended, or if it didn't. I need to know. Just tell me the truth.
There you go. And you guys, everybody out there that's watching the podcast, I can't say enough about her. I love her deeply, and she's been a tremendous friend, and she is straight and no chaser. She is. So you're going to enjoy the book, whether you're in this business or whether you're not in the business. The fact that somebody opens their heart and allow that stuff to come out is a revelation in itself. And I think that it should be noted that anybody who sits down and does that, it needs to be noted about it. So I appreciate it, and love you much, baby doll. Love you much.
Love you back, brother.
So we just waiting for.
Thank you so much for giving me this platform, to talk about it, because it helps me.
Anytime, you know that.
And I still got to figure out what one song. It ain't gonna be one song. I'm probably gonna say, okay, this song for this part, and this song for this part, and this.
The song that encapsulates your journey.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what, Russell? You and I got to have a conversation about these big words, babe. You know, we got to have a conversation here. It's a Friday night, babe. People are relaxed, and everybody's
It's only a 50-cent word if they look it up. It's just a little 50-cent word.
Come on, I'll get you though. I got you.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Carla, let me just ask you, is there any thought right now? I know you still got some work to do with this book, but is there any thought about writing an additional book?
Everybody that has read the book so far that has gotten back to me has said, I need a part 2.
Okay.
I'm like,
because
part 1, whoop my
you can't
ass.
tell it all. You can't tell it all in part 1. You can't tell it all.
Oh, you can never tell it all. You ain't even gonna tell it all.
Right.
I'm just saying, just know, out of everything I did tell, I still didn't tell it all.
I got you. Well, listen, my dear. Again, I want to thank you, and you know that you got a team over on this side of the tracks. If there's anything that we can do, especially myself, we're waiting for that book date. That we're waiting for that because the music lovers, we're going to come over and support that and be a part of that. Maybe what's the young lady's name? That did the show where I came over. It's not
Connie Jackson.
Yeah. Maybe we can have it at the hotel there.
Well, we're going to have it at the Historical Society.
Okay.
She had what she did was she was the curator of in the Camden Historical Society. There's a whole floor that's dedicated to all the Camden musicians.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So and we're going to do it. We decided to do it there.
Fantastic.
So I'll let her know that you're hosting.
Yeah. That's the best setting for it. Well, yeah. Okay.
It's probably going to be on a Sunday afternoon.
That's better. Doesn't matter.
Like a Sunday around 3.
Yeah.
4.
Okay. That's a good time.
That's
June. A good time. That's an excellent time.
I hope to see all of you there. I certainly hope you can make it.
Well, I'm sure that most of us will be able to, and most of us will come. I'm sure
bring your voices, because if I'm singing, you singing.
There you go.
Everybody good sing.
There you go.
Have a choir.
There you go. There you go. Well, again, sweetheart, thank you so much for spending time with us this
Thank
Friday
you for
night.
having me.
And everybody out there, I hope that you go to Amazon and get the book. Again, it's a very, very good read, a very good read. And if you want, contact me or contact Carla and let us know what you think about it, and I'll pass the message on to her. Okay. Miss Linda Davis, thank you so much for joining us here. Everybody, when you leave us here, tune your radio into WPPM 106.5 FM or phillycam.org/listen. My radio show is from 10 until 2. Great music, the oldies, just the way that you remember them. Happy birthday to Russell from the Stylistics, and happy birthday a couple days ago to Miss Jean Carn. Lovely, lovely lady. And you talked about Jean in your book. You also talked about Russell in your book.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of legends that she talks about in this book. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Love you much, and we will talk
Love
to
you
everybody
back.
soon. Have a great weekend.
Have
Again,
a great weekend. Journey
Take
into
care.
love.
Journey into Take care, everybody. Good night.
Good night.